Hello, everybody. Hey, this is Dr. Still. We're on our way with a new second half of our semester. It's very interesting. I think we can make this work. I wanted to go over today with you two things. One, we'll talk about our agenda going forward for the rest of the semester. And the second is we'll do some review for our first midterm exam. So first of all, let's look at our assignments. Mostly they're not changing. They're just the dates are going to change a little bit when they're due. So we had assignments 1, 2, and 3. Assignment 1 was due March 5th. All but 4 of you have turned those in. If you haven't turned those in yet, please turn them in. Assignment 2 is due this Thursday, March 26th. A lot of you have already turned that in as well. And then assignment 3 is still due April 2nd. Okay, we have 3 discussions. Discussion 1 was the February 13th. Discussion 2, I have moved the due date from March 24th to March 31st. So that gives you an extra week to get discussion 2 completed, since a lot of us, I don't think anyone's actually worked on that yet. Discussion 3 will stay at April 9. So far we have, that's the major change there is in discussions. The midterm, okay, so we missed our midterm, which was last week. So I've moved the midterm to Tuesday, March 31st from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you're going to have 8 hours to take it. You can log in anytime you want between then. I've not used this online portal to submit them. So I think what I'm going to do is I will put the assignment on the website on the 31st at 9 a.m. It will appear on our D2L website. Download that Word file. Fill out the Word file, and then email it to me at my email. For me, I think that's the best way to work. That way people won't get locked out or shut out or they lose DTL access or something. Just download the Word file, and if you can't upload it, just, I guess, upload the answers to me. But we'll figure it out. Let me know if you have any problems with that. This gives you a week to prepare, and the exam, like I said, will be offered here on D2L. You'll download it and then send it back to me. As far as the second midterm, we'll get to that. We got plenty of time. And then your final presentation, I still don't know if that's going to be over the video or what we'll do. It's probably going to be individuals instead of group presentations. We'll get to that. And the other grade on there, instructor defense with me meeting, that's probably everyone's just going to get credit for that, but we'll cross that bridge after a little while. Okay, next I want to talk about the midterms. So this is the section where we're going to review. I will go through what to look at to remind you to what to study for your first midterm. So our first midterm will be on chapters 1, 2, 3, and chapter 5. Chapter 5 was Dr. Pence subbed in for me when I was at a meeting. We will cover the speakers of Dr. Pence, Dr. Carver, Dr. Groninger, Dr. Kazakakisius, Dr. Latour, Dr. Walters, Dr. Ruffner, and Dr. Still. That's when I talked about the world floral market. The essay or the exam will consist of a bunch of multiple choice questions with a essay question at the end. So we'll have a short essay. Again, to remind you, you'll have 8 hours. So you have plenty of time to log in anytime during the day. Download that exam. Work on it. I need you to have it in my inbox by so you have until 5 p.m. to download it. You have until midnight to submit it of that day. So midnight of the 31st. Okay, so kind of going through. So let's look at chapter 1. So I don't have, I guess what I'm going to say is chapter 1. Chapter 1 is Intro to the Food World Economy. So kind of look at, know about the Green Revolution. We talked a lot about the Green Revolution. What causes hunger? Where was world hunger? Why did we have world hunger in impoverished nations? Talk about how bad effects maybe like the Civil Wars or overpopulation has on world hunger. What causes increases in agricultural production? So that's something I know we specifically talked about. When we're looking at what promotes a robust economy, so which in turn makes more food for each household. What were some things that the government or the state can do, the nation state can do? We talked about maybe enabling an institutional environment for agriculture to be sustainable and more secure. The rule of law was another one we kind of talked about. So think about what the government can do to have a robust economy. What percent of the U.S. household money do they spend on food or in developed countries? And think about like the food as a tripod. So what is that tripod in the food economy? We talked about that. Chapter 2, some things you might want to look at is the demand side. So what happens when most of the world's population is barely eking out a living and most people produce their own food? How was the food demand predicted? So we'd say that like if something happened to population, then something would happen to food demand. What is that relationship? What are indicators that help us predict food demand today? Look at Malthus and Neo-Malthusians. So remember who Malthus was. What were the things that Malthus said? There'll be a couple questions on that. Think about the Earth's temperate zones. So we have temperate zones. North America is a temperate zone. Why is that suitable for agriculture? What is it about it that makes it a good place to grow agricultural crops? Chapter 5, because we're doing 1, 2, 3, and 5. Chapter 3 first. Supply side, agriculture demand and its determination. What are 4 appropriate roles for government in agricultural production and agribusiness? So what should agriculture be doing? That's covered in Chapter 3. The question on Earth's temperate zones was also Chapter 3. I accidentally put it in Chapter 2, sorry. Hey, Chapter 5, Agriculture and the Environment. So this was when Dr. Pence tagged in for me, so I was not there, but he has PowerPoints online and he presented his own PowerPoint to you. So we looked at what guides the development of privately owned resources. So this talked a lot about the market and environment and what happens when people use those and if they're checked or not checked by entities and tragedy of the commons. What guides the development of resources where no property rights exist? So if you don't have property rights, how do you guide the consumption of resources? Think about the open access. So in the text, and Dr. Pence talked about unopened resources where open access exists. So you might think of the environment or fisheries or rangeland. What happens to those when it's open access? The atmosphere is an open access. So what has happened in our world with the atmosphere being open access to the global marketplace? One thing that you might think about is perhaps global warming has occurred. If that's the case, what are the potential damages that global warming can cause, and what's a couple ways that we could potentially reduce or slow global warming? What parts of the world suffer the greatest soil damage, and maybe why? So why or where are those places? And what parts of the world or regions are experiencing the most deforestation? So look at deforestation. Again, Dr. Pence talked about that. Okay, so that would be the end for the first midterm. The second midterm will cover chapters 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So those don't look at right now, don't sweat it right now, but 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Consider for an essay, be prepared to talk about comparative advantage. So I believe that's what I talked about in class. We talked about on the board. I drew it on the board. We kind of went into it for maybe 20 minutes. Comparative advantage. So I might ask you an essay question on comparative advantage, so be prepared to discuss that. I think with that, that's good for now for reviewing for the midterm. If you have questions or concerns, you can email me. I'll be checking my email once a day at least. I think we're doing okay. I hope your other classes are going well for you. Please, again, don't freak out and stress about this class, but we do have assignments that need to get done. So if you're not turning your assignments yet, stay on top of those or get them done. If you're going along fine, get on top of those discussions and finish your other assignments. I will post the midterm. Again, the midterm will appear the day it goes online. Again, please reach out to me with any questions that you may have. Thank you. Have a good week and stay healthy.